everybody. It's Mrs. Kolbe, and now we're going to do a poetry time. Fun with poetry is what we're kind of calling it because it's super fun. And all the poems that we're going to be doing, this is my Poetry Pockets apron. It's full of just a million little poems that we can do. These are all poems that Mrs. Kolbe's done in her classroom for forever. Even Mrs. Shedrow will remember these. She did one for me not too long ago at school. So that's a long time. That means I'm really old. But they're all taken from Shel Silverstein, who writes these crazy, wacky, fun, to act out poems. And this one's called Where the Sidewalk Ends. And most of the poems that we're going to do today come out of this book. So what I'm going to do today is a sampling of lots of different poems that we're going to be learning over time. And since we don't have papers in front of us, since we don't all have a book, we're going to memorize them, which is what my kids in my classroom do. And then you are going to be able to entertain your families. You can do them in the shower, shouting out in the shower. You can do them at dinner time. Everybody's going to be able to get in on the fun. And when I do poems, I just make up my own props. So you can look for whatever's in the house. You can make crazy things for your head. You can put weird hats on. I even brought some of my boas home from school. And it's just lots of fun. So when you do poetry, let me put my book down here. When we do poetry, one of the things that's most important is a lot of people, when they do poems, they kind of gallop with them. Da 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 da. And they end up being just like boring. So when we do poems, it's a good time to work on our fluency, the different ways we talk, our voice and expression, making our voice go up, our voice go down, changing our voice to different things. Definitely using your face. When you do poetry for people, your face is a big thing. You have eyebrows that go up and down, like ooh. Your mouth can make different things. Your cheeks can go out. Your teeth can show. And then the other thing is you want your body moving. You want your hand out. I didn't bring my karaoke machine home, but usually we do it on a microphone, and we sound so cool when we do that. But if you get in your bathroom shower, you have this really great echo in there. You can sound really good. So we're going to practice with our hands over time. We're going to practice with our faces and just with the sound of our voice and making our voice really fun and interesting to listen to. So all of these poems right here are tucked in Mrs. Kolbe's head because I've been doing it for so long. And eventually we're going to tuck them in your head too. So today just sit back and listen and enjoy and maybe pick out some that you might want to do. And then we're going to learn them one at a time. And by the time we're done with all this staying in business, you might have a lot of poems tucked in your little apron too. You could get yourself a little apron. You could take some little poems and write them out on little pieces of paper. I have like a million in every little poetry pocket here. So, oh, look at that teeny weeny one. I'd have to get my glasses on for that. Okay, so here we go with a little sampling. This poem is called Hot Dog for a Pet. And what I'm telling you about Shel Silverstein is they're wacky. They don't make any sense. They have weird characters for pets. And we just go with it because it's super, super fun. So this one's called Hot Dog for a Pet. And if you're a kindergarten or first grader, maybe even second grade, you have been in the library to do this with me maybe and memorize this one yourself, so you might even know this one. We were going to start with Gummy Eyeball, but I left the gumball machine at school, so I'm going to go back and snag that up and we'll do that one too. So this is Hot Dog for a Pet. I have a hot dog for a pet. It's the only kind my folks would let me get. He does smell sort of bad, and yet he absolutely never gets the sofa wet. We have a butcher for a vet, strangest vet you've ever met. Guess we're the weirdest family yet to have a hot dog for a pet. Ta-da! Poem number 1. A sofa is another name for a couch, in case you didn't know that word. And a butcher for the vet, the reason that's funny is because a butcher is the meat guy in the back of the grocery store where you have the whole meat section. He's the guy who wraps up all the meat and cuts it and does all that kind of stuff. So of course, what is a hot dog? Meat. So it just makes it funny they have a butcher for a vet. All right, Mr. Hot Dog, down you go. And I think we will do homework machine. This is about the most fabulous contraption that's ever been invented. So when we do this, we have to be like, la ta da. So here we go with homework machine. The homework machine. Oh, the homework machine. The most perfect contraption that's ever been seen. Just put in your homework, drop in a dime, snap on the switch, and in 10 seconds time, your homework comes out. Quick and clean as can be. Here it is, 9 plus 4, and the answer is 3. 3? Oh, me. I guess it's not as perfect as I thought it would be. You don't want that homework machine doing your homework because look, it was the wrong answer. So you can invent your own contraption of a homework machine. You can even make it out of boxes or anything you want to make. You can make a piece of paper that says 9 plus 4, and the answer is 3. And then the next time we do the poem, you'll be ready to go. So that is another poem we have. Let me put my homework away. Well, oh, this is such a good one. For this one, I have to put on my doctor coat. Dentist. Actually, I'm not a doctor, I'm a dentist. And this one has 3 parts to it. Since we're home by ourselves, we are going to have to play all 3 parts. So one part, you have to have a dentist voice. Hello there, how are you doing? The second part, you have to have a narrator voice, who's the person who's just telling the in-betweener parts, telling the story. And you have to have a alligator voice. So, and this alligator is coming to the dentist because he's in a tremendous amount of pain. So you have to have like a kind of painful voice and face. So you could make a gator. Who knows? You could make it out of a paper towel roll and just have a little tiny gator. Put some green construction paper on it, and if you have nothing, oh my gosh, you can just pretend you have an alligator in there. Nobody cares. It's mostly about listening to your voice and storytelling and how you tell a story. So here we go. The crocodile went to the dentist, and he sat down in the chair. And the dentist said, "Now tell me, sir, why does it hurt and where?" And the crocodile cried, "I'll tell you the truth. I have a terrible ache in my tooth." And he opened his jaws so wide, that the dentist, he climbed right inside. And the dentist laughed. "Oh, isn't this fun?" I'm going to have pliers here. As he pulled the teeth out one by one. And the crocodile cried, "You're hurting me so. Please put down your pliers and let me go." But the dentist just laughed with a ho, ho, ho. And he said, "I still have 12 to go." "Oops, that's the wrong one, I confess. But what's one crocodile's tooth more or less?" Then suddenly, the jaws went snap. And the dentist was gone right off the map. Where he went, one can only guess. To the north, or the south, or the east, or the west. He left no forwarding address. But what's one dentist more or less? Ta-da! So that's kind of a fun one that you can do. 3 voices. You can practice them. We're going to do a little part each day at a time. And when you repeat it over and over again, pretty soon you'll learn them. And we have plenty of time to learn these poems. So don't be afraid if you don't get it the first time. You can say it along with Mrs. Kolbe. And whatever you get, you get. Whatever you don't, you don't. Next time we do it, we're going to do them over and over and over again. So did you like Crocodile's Toothache? All right, let me put that guy down. Let me take off my dentist coat. And now I'm going to be Jimmy Jet in his TV set. Are you ready? Ta-da! Now I'm a TV set. Of course, on TVs, not so much anymore, but on old TVs, you might have to look them up on the internet. They used to have antenna that you had to have. And, of course, you can't have a TV without power. So here we go. This is called Jimmy Jet and his TV set, and it's about a kid who loved to watch TV so much that is all he did. Whoops, my antenna are falling off. And that's all he did until he watched so much, he actually turned into a television. Are you ready? Okay. Antenna on. You could make this so simple with a piece of paper stuck on the front of your shirt, and maybe you might even have an extension cord. Mrs. Kolbe just has it stuck in her pocket right here. All right, you ready? Here we go, Jimmy Jett and his TV set. I'll tell you the story of Jimmy Jett. You know what I tell you is true. He loved to watch his TV set almost as much as you. He watched all day and he watched all night till he grew pale and lean. From the early show to the late, late show and all the shows in between. He watched till his eyes were frozen wide and his bottom grew into a chair. And his chin turned into a tuning dial. An antenna grew out of his hair. And his brains turned into TV tubes. And his face to a TV screen. And two knobs saying Vert and Horace grew where his ears had been. And he grew a plug, a tail. A plug that looked like a tail. So we plugged in little Jim. And now, instead of him watching TV, we all sit around and watch him. Get it? Now they watch him because he's turned into a TV. So that's a great one to work on your voice, your face, all the things you can do with the brains and the antenna and the chin, and using your hands to say the early show to the late, late show. So that is a super fun one that we're going to learn too. All right, antenna off. And Jimmy Jett off. And I'll even take my plug out of my pocket. So that is that for that one. So another one we could do. Oh, this is really good. It's called Dark in There. I almost forgot the name. When we do this in the library, Mrs. Kolbe has a big giant pencil or just a regular size pencil. Somebody gets behind there and they stick their hand out of the lion's mouth, so the only thing that you can see is the person's hand because they've been swallowed by the lion. And they pretend they're writing the whole time. So if you had an old piece of cardboard at home, you could make a lion, you could cut a little hole for his mouth, and you could have your brother or sister get behind there and stick their hand out with a pencil while you do the poem. So it's super fun. If I had my karaoke machine, we'd probably stick Mr. Kolbe back there. And I have like an echo sound on my karaoke machine, and it makes it sound like you're in a hollow stomach in there. So that's like a super fun one. So here we go with this. It's called Dark in Here. I'm writing these lines from inside a lion because it's rather dark in here. So please excuse my handwriting, which may not be too clear. But this afternoon by the lion's cage, I'm afraid I got too near. So I'm writing these lines from inside a lion, and it's rather dark in here. Ta-da! There's another one. Okay, what else do I have here? Oh my gosh, this worm is going to be going with 1 inch tall. Imagining if you were only 1 inch tall. I think I'm going to have to brush up on that one before I do it. But it says if you were only 1 inch tall, you'd ride a worm to school. Can you imagine if you were only 1 inch tall? You'd hop on a little worm and go, get to school, which would take you forever. So we're going to do that one. I have a whole tub of props to do for a bunch of other ones that we're going to do. Here's one we can do. This is called Skinny McGinn. And it's about a guy who was so skinny that when he was in his bathtub, he slurped right down the drain, out of sight. So of course, if we have a shower hat, we should definitely put our shower hat on. Here's the plug in the drain. Poop, off he goes down the drain. And of course, when you're in the shower, you do need some kind of a scrubber. So you could get in your little bathrobe, you could put your swimming suit on when you do it, and you could just do Skinny McGinn. Here we go. This is one I hope I remember this one. If I don't, we'll look it up and we'll get it next time. Skinny McGinn was so terribly thin that while taking a bath Sunday night, boop, out plopped the plug, and sloop, sloop, and glug, glug, Skinny slipped right down the drain out of sight. And where is our poor Skinny bathing tonight? In some underground pool down below? Or up there so high, in a tub in the sky, where all of the clean people go? Ta-da! So, this is just a sampling. If you have Where the Sidewalk Ends, oh my gosh, there are a million like this in there. I'll probably be thinking of them tonight when I'm trying to go to sleep, going, oh my gosh, we've got to do that one. So each day we're going to do, I'll introduce you to a couple more. We will do the same ones over and over and over again because we can't entertain our families if we don't have our poems memorized. And then we'll just do a little bit every day. Mrs. Kolbe's got a bazillion in her little poetry pockets, so I'll just keep pulling them out. Oh yeah, there's dark in there. See what else I got hiding in here. Ah, hot dog. Got that one. We already did that one. Oh, I have one about the terrible toy-eating Tuchel. You're going to love that. That's about kids who don't put their toys away, and somebody comes and gobbles them up at night, which is probably what our moms wish would happen. Oh, have you ever heard of Melinda May? She ate a monstrous whale. She said she could. She said she would, so she started right in at the tail. And everyone said, "You're much too small." That didn't bother Melinda at all. She took little bites and chewed very slow, just like a good girl should. And then I have a wig we put on that's like a grandma wig, and we always flip around like this, and then we turn into an old person. And in 89 years, she ate that whale because she said she would. There's another one popped in there. So I'll start searching through my pockets, pull out some more fun things to do. I hope you come every day because it's going to be a super lot of fun. You get to act like a crazy goober, like Mrs. Kolbe. Sorry to say, but I am a goober. We might even dance a little bit. You know, you have to dance. And you should sing every day of your life. And if you add a little poetry in, it's just going to be a great place to be. So I will see you tomorrow with another poem. So long.